All right. Well, what's good, people? Happy Saturday to you. It's Saturday, November the 2nd. Man, the year's about gone, and you know what? This is our first pick'em show for the year, isn't it? Maybe second. It's the second. Is it
Okay.
second? Is it the
Might be
first?
might be the first. It's probably the first. I think it is the first.
Man, that's a tragedy and a shame of itself, man. We 9 weeks, 8 weeks in, and we ain't done a pick 'em. But life does funny things, man. It takes you in
Yeah.
different directions and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
look who I got with me, man. I got my main man, TK, football aficionado, uh, analyst expert, and all those things. He decided to join your boy today, and we're gonna talk some NFL football today. TK, how you doing, man?
Well, Uncle Fred, man, I'm ready to do it. Despite the fact we haven't done a video, I know we both have been dialed in, keeping up all year. Um, so I mean, let's put knowledge to prediction here and let's get going, man.
All right, man. Let's go ahead. I'm not gonna even do the little promo. I'm just gonna get right to it, man. We got about like 14 games on the docket this week, and I'm gonna say this, man. NFL's had some funny turns, man. It's a lot of stuff going on with it and stuff. So it's a lot of but it's still the best thing out there. But it's a lot of interesting things going with the season so far. But we're gonna talk about that. So let's go on and get cranking on our list here. This is week 9, our pick'ems. So we're gonna start off with our 12 noon games. So the first game on the agenda, according to I'm gonna pull up my injury report. Let me see here. All right, so let's look at this. So first game I got is the Dolphins and the Bills, and
Okay.
so you got the Miami. I'm trying to listen to see if I could hear you like I'm supposed to hear you here. That's what I'm doing.
Can you hear me? Check, check. Sound all right?
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, we good. We good. We better than good. That sounds great. All right. So I was just concerned. I just want to make sure that I wasn't on. You know how I go. Sometimes the little technical snafus be all over the place, and you want to make sure you're on point, whatever. So all right. So we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills are 6-2, playing some of the best football in the NFL. Dolphins are 2-5. I think they've lost about 2, 3 games in a row. They've lost some games that like last week. I thought they probably should have beaten the Cardinals, and they had a lead for most of the game. And it's just funny that that ain't what happened. They end up losing that game at the buzzer, a 50 something yard field goal or whatever, and they won 28-26. So it was 28-27, 20. But they lost, so they're 2-5. Uh, Dolphins, we all know the Tua Tagovailoa thing. Dolphins didn't really make any deals other than to get uh, what's the kid's name? Hunley
Tyler
to
Huntley, they signed Tyler Huntley to fill in for Tua while he was
right,
out.
and really didn't address the issue to kind of save the season, so to speak. And I think there was quarterbacks that probably could have been had, but they, I know that's been a talk about, not wanting to put somebody in there that would challenge Tua, so to speak. But there's also discussion about we're gonna get on to the predictions, but about him particularly, one just weird hit away from the whole thing going up in smoke for him. So it's
Yeah,
an interesting dynamic, man. Very interesting.
yeah,
Uh,
man. I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you elect not to address that situation by Tuesday's deadline, then when you go into the off season, you got to seriously consider putting a starter level QB behind Tua going forward and just making that a priority investment for the team because we've now seen. I mean, it's night and day when he's not in there, and the drop off for the team's production just can't be that vast. And
that will be a cavern.
yeah, can't be that vast, man. It just brings down the morale of the collective team in that situation. Though I think most of them, all of them did pretty well about, staying professional throughout it. It's still obvious how much of a gap there is between Tua and the guy behind him. So got to close that gap for a team that has a lot of talent and wants to win games. Um, Maybe they address that before Tuesday, but if not in the offseason, you got to address that. As far as the game being played tomorrow, um, it's in Buffalo. It's November. Buffalo's rolling. Miami's not. It's just everything tilts one way here. I don't know that there's too much to debate about it. Miami notoriously has not been successful against Josh Allen's Bills, and there's no reason to think that's going to change tomorrow. So yeah,
Don't see it. I don't see
I,
it.
I just lean Buffalo as far as just making the pick. Would like to see Miami run the football because I do think they have some versatility in the backfield with Mostert and HN to where they could, just play a style that's more about trying to get downhill a little bit, put some pressure on that defense, um, maybe open up the outside a little more. But with Tua sort of being on, you know, him being such a quote unquote flight risk, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what that team does for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Because what's your style of play? Because I mean, if you can't bubble wrap the quarterback, man. So, but
He- and
that's
he's
the
not
way.
wearing the, and he's not wearing the Guardian helmet either. He said he will not wear that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't state any type of perspective on that, but it's Buffalo, man. It's Buffalo. We kind of know where this one's going. It's gonna be
Yeah, I know.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Not a whole lot to add to that, man. I don't want to belabor the time on this particular game. We already kind of know where it's going. Just want to kind of give you context, give you the injury report. Nobody of note really for the Dolphins other than Javon Holland, safety. Bills got a couple of guys questionable. Curtis Samuel is questionable, and Amari Cooper is questionable because, of course, he is. Love Amari Cooper, but he never met a nagging injury he didn't like, man. And, hey, man. Come on now. That was that went with him all the way back to at Alabama. That was talk about that, even at Alabama. That if he wasn't 100%, he might not want to play. He may if everything kind of got to be. So I mean that's just who he is. That's just who he is. But I still think Buffalo wins. Bills are favored, as you see on my crawl. Bills are favored by 6.5. Sounds about right to me. Might even be a little more than that. I got the Bills, and
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
the Dolphins. That might be the thing that might be the Katie bar at the door in the season because that would make them what 2-6.
Yeah, you kind of out of it at that point. I mean, well, at least you're in Jets territory, still trying to convince yourself. So, you know, tough road to climb at 2-6, man.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. All right, moving on to the next game here. Moving on to the next game, we both agree on that one. I'm pretty sure there's a few on here that we're gonna go opposite ways on. 'Cause that's what makes the show.
I'm sure we will, man. I got a
All
couple
right,
of
game
them.
two, we got the Broncos at the Ravens.
Mm.
TAA Bank Stadium, I think that's what it's called in Baltimore. Ravens are favored by 9.5. But the Denver Broncos are nice. I want to say like a cute little story. You got the little quarterback that nobody figured could be a pro prospect, but he is. He's playing, and you got Sean Payton, who's kind of a not kind of a no nonsense kind of offensive kind of coach or whatever. And, he kind of built this team the way he's building it, and they're kind of well coached, and they kind of a real what you would call try hard team, and they don't make a lot of mistakes, and they play good sound fundamental defense and all that kind of stuff, and they're playing the Ravens coming off a game where they kind of got their hand pinched a little bit when they played uh, the Browns, and because you always know when you're playing those interdivision games, sometimes anything goes. With those games, those teams know you better than you know you. So sometimes the things that you would work against everybody else won't work against them because they know you inside and out. So sometimes you never know. Those games sometimes are weird, and how they turn out. So they was able to lose to the Browns. Jameis Winston came in there and did his thing, so they lost that game late. So that anytime a team loses, they're going to come in with a little more focus, a little more intensity. They're going to kind of look at the film, look at the things they didn't do well, and probably fix a lot of those things. So a lot of times the team that faces them next week gets the brunt of that. I got the Ravens, man. I just don't see. I just think the Ravens have such a diverse, formidable offense. They're a team of tough guys, and I don't know if Deontay Johnson is going to play their newly acquired Tory. I don't know if he plays this week or not. We kind of talked about that in the pre-show. Pre-show went on for about 2 hours before we even go on air. We already talked about a lot of things. Deontay Johnson is there. I think they gave up like a third round pick or something to get him or something to that effect. And so he's there now with Zay Flowers and on that team with Likely and Mark Andrews. And so that's a very formidable team. And they got that sledgehammer in the backfield. So I just don't see how you beat them with the system that they run and how well they play and how well they block and how they're just a good team. I just don't know how the Broncos beat them. I got the Ravens winning that one, but I think the Broncos kind of make them earn it a little bit. But I don't see no scenario where the Ravens lose this game in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I got the Ravens.
Yeah, I was looking up here on my screen if Deontay was for sure in or not. I would imagine he would be. Um, it's kind of where I'm going Ravens all the way, but I'm going Ravens across the board. So for the betters, whatever you got, your point spreads and your team total and all of that, I think the Ravens are going to cover all of that, man. This is kind of the spot where the Ravens thrive. Um, there's a upstart defense going on in Denver. It's a team that's able to piecemeal wins together from, a good strategic plan. They stay within their confines of what works for them, and it's proven to be successful halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Here's where I think there's a little stew in the pot for them. I think the Ravens, quote unquote, punch them in the mouth. Ravens are at home. They're coming off a loss that they probably should have won. That's
Right.
football. The game is the game. But I
Mhm.
just think this is where the Ravens oftentimes tend to flex their muscle. So I think they get into that tomorrow, and they put the type of points on the board that Denver just can't. So end of the day, that 9.5, whatever that is, I think they cover that, and you know, I think they found a way to implement their new receiver, the latest gadget in the toy box, so to speak. And I think you see a lot of Derrick Henry because you always do, and they'll entice Denver to creep. Denver has a really good secondary, young, talented secondary for sure, and I think they'll entice those safeties to come up, creep up, and that's where he like to go over the top. And could see a couple shots towards Deontay, or Isaiah Likely, something like that. And I just think they come out of it with 3 or 4 offensive touchdowns, man, and that's just about too many for Denver. So
To be able
um,
to overcome,
yeah,
correct.
yeah. I think Denver pushes the ball a little bit because the Ravens secondary is beat up and has been susceptible all year to big plays. So I do think Sean Payton will cook up something and get those receivers behind that secondary a couple of times. But as far as consistently being able to keep up and put points on the board, nah, I'll take Ravens, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned safe secondary kind of beat up. Questionable for the Ravens. Jalen Armour Davis, questionable. Marlon Humphrey, their star cornerback, is questionable. And those are significant. Those are significant injuries right there. Both those are Alabama dudes too. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, uh, but yeah, but yeah, I got Ravens all day, and I don't know how they lose this game or whatever. But like I said, Denver's they're gonna give them they're gonna make them earn it. They're gonna make them earn it. But
Yeah, I
Ravens,
think it's one of
they
those
just
like 34-17 type of games. You know what I mean? Of
sounds
course,
about right.
as far as the market, it satisfies the market and all that. But it's a game that appears a little closer than it actually is. I think to your point, it'll be that type of game.
Hmm.
Denver will do enough to make the window dressing look good and whatnot.
Okay. All right. So Harbaugh and Lamar get the win here in that game. And the reason I brought up Harbaugh because his brother is on the next game, the Chargers versus the Browns. See how I segued that? Uh,
Like that. Like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers go to Cleveland, take on the Browns, who just beat his brother, and maybe he takes on a little revenge. How dare you beat my brother? How dare you? How dare you embarrass my brother and beat my brother? And so he
Okay.
takes the Browns. This stuff just comes to me, man. Anyway, so the Chargers go to Cleveland. They play around the Chargers are actually favored by a point and a half. Browns, we know the story with
Interesting.
Deshaun Watson in the game before this when they were playing the Cincinnati Bengals. He suffers a ruptured Achilles, and we know that's a story about that. The fans cheering, whatever about that, and which we thought that's a very disgusting thing. Regardless of how you feel about it, you never cheer for a player getting injured. That's never good, man. You just don't do that, especially an injury of that significance. Really, that might be career altering. At the stage of the career
Yeah.
he's in, and kind of how he's looked this year. could very easily be career altering. But so from that point on, they went with the kid. He's got three names. Kid's name. He ended up getting hurt too. I think he had a finger injury or something. So in comes famous Jameis. Throws for like 300 and some odd yards, and they get the win last week. So now I'm sure he's starting this week going against the Chargers. Should be an interesting game. They're playing in Cleveland. It's gonna be. It's November. It's gonna be a little. Field's gonna be a little. Cleveland kind of likes that. Chargers are. I mean, kind of pretty boys. I know they don't play a pretty boy game because Jim Harbaugh got them running the football. They run the football. They get. They play physical. They do. Uh, I got the Chargers winning this one, but I think this is going to be an ugly, mucky game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a game. It's going to be, you see the jerseys after the game, folks will have muck and stuff all over them, and guys slipping and sliding, and all that kind of good stuff. I kind of
Mhm.
see that kind of game going on here. But I just think the Chargers may have maybe a little more talent than them, but it should be close because they're playing at Cleveland. That's what gives Cleveland sort of a shot. And of course, when you got famous Jameis, man, you never know how that thing gonna go, man. So I give him a puncher's chance with famous Jameis. I give him a puncher's chance. But if I got to pick, I'm gonna pick the Chargers. But I would not be surprised if famous Jameis engineers a last second drive and they win by field goal or something. I would not be surprised, but that's not the way I'm picking. I'm gonna pick the Chargers.
Um, I'm gonna give him more than a punch. I'm gonna give him a dub. I'm gonna go Cleveland on this one. Um, I actually think Cleveland probably has more talent than LA. Top to bottom right now. I also think LA is a smash mouth style of team. Under that Harbaugh vision on both sides of the ball.
Of course.
So it'll definitely be a run heavy clock management game that which will likely come down to the wire because of the stylistics on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Cleveland in this spot. I think this is where having home field advantage and a team from the West Coast traveling east for this one gives them sort of a leg up. Nick Chubb is back, getting his legs up underneath him after coming back from such a horrific injury.
Yeah.
Um, I think he just starts to look better and better by the week as he gets more and more adjusted. David Njoku's becoming, a serious red zone target and a star at that tight end spot. And Jameis will get him the ball consistently. That match, if you like cross matchups, you know, Derwin James being cross matched with David Njoku, that's going to be a good one. Um, Derwin James seems to always take those matchups personally, so
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
that. I think the Chargers are, you know, outperforming a lot of people's expectations. Um, and they're hard nosed they're gritty. I'd argue they're not pretty boys. I'd argue they just gritty dudes, and that's kind of the identity Harbaugh's
Harbaugh.
trying to take on with that team. So, do I think Herbert's the more talented quarterback between him and Jameis? Sure, that could be true, but I I gotta go with the flavor of the upset on some of these, and this one is giving me quote unquote upset vibes for sure. So this is that 2017 23-20, a field goal by the home team will take us out of here type of game, and I think Cleveland will be comfortable with that at home because regardless of the circumstances with Deshaun earlier in the year, that defense is still top notch, and I think they just play with a lot more vigor and hope this week like they did last week when it feels like, we got a quarterback in here that can at least put some points on the board and give us some successful, sustained drives that keep us off the field and just give us a shot. I just think they're able to get back as a unit to feeling like we got a shot today. So in that vein, I think you get the best, performance from Cleveland's defensive unit tomorrow. And I just think they got the tools in the secondary to, pretty much keep the Chargers in check. And the things that the Chargers like to do well, they're going to force, they're going to impose their will anyway, as far as running the ball. So they'll impose their will in the ground game. But I just think with Denzel Ward and Newsome on the outside, uh, they'll do it. They'll do enough to give themselves a chance. And that's where I think they just get it done in the end, somehow, some way.
Okay. Yeah, we're in total agreement on that one. Um, no, we're not. We're actually no. I should have started. I'm gonna start implementing sound bites, and I'm gonna put like when the ring comes out, when the bell sounds with a boxing match, but I'm gonna have to sound that when we disagree. Because he's taking the Browns and I'm taking the Chargers. So while I agree with those assessments which he's making about Cleveland in terms of what personnel they have, I'm gonna take the Chargers on this one. Like I said, I would not. We will agree this is not going to be an aesthetically pleasing watch game. I just don't see that.
It depends on what you like. I'm more like most people. I like to see scoring, but some people tend to like that style. I think I could appreciate it at times. I like the Ravens. They run the ball a lot, but it's the way you do it.
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would say it's also a couple of trade candidates on that Cleveland team. So, if they were to lose, and kind of that'll put a button or a bow on their season, so to speak. I could see, a couple guys ending up on new teams by Tuesday. So that's also an element here to watch.
Yeah, it's always an element. Uh, anyone in particular you think of off the top of your
Yeah,
head?
I saw it was something I was looking at, man. I was trying to keep up if there were any new trades, and I saw Darius Smith, who's an edge for Cleveland.
Mm, yeah,
Um, Greg Newsome, who's a corner for Cleveland.
yeah. Starting corner,
Really,
right?
really good, man. I'm surprised he
Starts
was
off
on
the
it.
Denzel Ward. Yeah, that's yeah,
Yeah, really good talent. So I was surprised he was on that list. But a
yeah,
couple guys from that defensive side that may or may not, go somewhere else depending on how this game goes. So just may see a little more fight from Cleveland, trying to hold on to hope for their year. Um, Desperate team at home.
yeah.
I'm with it.
Trying to say what remnants of their season they got. They got 2 wins. They're 2-5, if I'm not mistaken. 2-5 or 2-6. I'm not sure. All right, we're gonna go on to our next game. Let's go on to our next game. We splitting hairs, splitting on that one. So we're gonna see what happens with that one. So next game we got. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this one. You got the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. New Orleans favored by 7.5. New Orleans opened the season with that fresh beat down, the first game of the season, 47-10. And I don't think, and really, they only won one game since then. And then, of course, the Panthers has won one game since then. So basically, they about the same since then. They won one game. They won one game. Of course, all data isn't the same data. Now we know that the Saints have a tremendous amount of injuries. I was looking at the injury report now. Do you know both Kool-Aid McKinstry and Marshawn Lattimore both not playing this game? And they lost Derek Carr for game 3 till now, and I think he might start. And I think this thing just went on me. Swap it back right quick. How it does that? It defaults to things. I don't know why it did that. brought it to my webcam, and that camera not working here. So all right, let's see. Still not doing it. Okay, let me see here.
Well, yeah, man, we can keep talking, but
Yeah, we're still
uh,
talking. Keep talking. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. But yeah,
yeah, Derek Carr
yeah.
is for sure back for this game. He's in as far as what I've seen reports wise. He's for sure in, so that's good for them. Uh, you know, I know you cited cornerbacks, Kool Aid McKinstry and Lattimore out, probably just precautionary, feeling like the other side is, other side is obviously in a fire sale rebuild mode. So trying to see what you have with young players mode. Um, Potentially could trade more guys before Tuesday mode. Carolina's just not in the winning football games business at least right now this year. So I think we all kind of figure New Orleans is a dub, but just a matter of how much really. And I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to have optimism for Bryce Young. There are bright spots. Chuba Hubbard has been a bright spot for that team all year. Um, they just traded away Deontay Johnson to Baltimore, but you still got Xavier Leggett. Maybe that opens up more time for Jonathan Mingo, another young receiver that they recently drafted. Just see what you got with your young guys, man. Leggett definitely looks like a guy who's got some great potential in the league down the road. Chris Olave's back from New Orleans. Recently extended. Alvin Kamara is there. So as far as just yet another team trying to salvage something from their season, it's a great opponent to get a win on the board here for New Orleans. So definitely think that's what they get done, get accomplished, and get some team morale up, score some touchdowns, maybe run it up, maybe not. But that's where I'm at with it, man. New Orleans all day for sure.
All righty, man. All right. I'm having a problem with this daggum camera, so it's doing what it's doing. It's not somehow it's not registering or whatever. I don't know why it's not. I'm seeing everything, but we'll keep on talking though. They ain't got to see me. They can hear me though. Um, and I'm assuming that they can still hear me. I need to check audio because I'm looking at video. I'm
Yeah, you
assuming
still good on that, man. As far as
they good.
on my end, I can still hear you for sure.
But anywho, let me see here. Let's see here. We're playing while it's in the air, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's move on. So I got the Saints, even though the Panthers are like a I don't know if it would be basketball, it'd be a G League team basically. So uh, Saints are favored by what 7.5, might be a little more, maybe. But yeah,
Probably
Packers,
should be.
huh?
Probably should be a little more as far as
Yeah,
that
it
goes.
should be a little more than that because they got the trigger man back with. with the Saints and everything. So it's amazing. You go to Spencer Rattler and the kind of don't do. And I was kind of thinking he was gonna like do some nice things, but it didn't kind of go that way, and they lost like 6 straight games. So it's whatever. There's some kind of a difficult teams to play too. So now it gets a little easy. You can count the Panthers as one of those. It's like chicken soup. It's good for whatever ails you, so you're good to go. So we both got the Saints in that game. Next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about this game in our pregame, pre-show, and it's a must-win for the Bengals. Bengals probably won't have T. Higgins for this game. He's got a quad injury, and that's a game. I think they are 2-6. They're 3-5. I'm sorry, I was cutting them short. They're 3-5. Raiders 2-6. Uh, Bengals have to win this game, in my opinion. They've got to win this game. And I feel like if they don't win this game, that's going to make their season kind of like you know lost you too. That let's see what's going on. You step away.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Both of us can't be gone. They can go. They can not see me. That's all right. They gotta see you though. Uh, uh, yeah. I think the Bengals have to have this game. I think they're favored by 7. The Raiders. I mean, I think they're trying hard. They got a lot of players. As we know that Devontae Adams is gone, and there's rumors about what's his face, the pass rusher. Um, what's his name? Pass rusher.
For the Bengals?
Yeah, no, for the Raiders.
Oh, Max Crosby?
Max Crosby. Couldn't think of his name. Name is escaped me. So Max Crosby, that's innuendo out there that he may be trying to jump ship, or he may be available to be traded. He may have asked for a trade. He may desire a trade. He may be going to Detroit. I think he's a Michigan native or other things. So there's a lot of things going on with the Raiders. And they're playing a Cincinnati team that's got to win this game to save their season. I'm going with Cincinnati. They're playing at Cincinnati. So yeah, I got them winning this one. I don't have a whole lot extra to add to that one because I just think Cincinnati. When the team has to win, they'll win, and a team that really don't have no motivation to win, they probably won't. So
Well, I actually think Vegas is going to give them a good game. So I think that 7 points is probably too much. Considering Higgins is not going to play tomorrow, and he's a big part of that offense. So missing him is actually probably a bigger deal than people may think. Um, on top of the fact that all the pressure is on Cincinnati in this one. Um, End of the day, Fred, you there? Wait for you to come back, man.
Okay, here we go. All right, you still there? Okay, I'm gonna continue to talk because I can he can come back. Let's see here. Swap the. There you
But
go.
yeah, man, I'm here. I'm still here. I was just waiting on you to get it right.
You hear me okay, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. I was just fooling around, hitting buttons, and sometimes you're hitting stuff you can't get it back right. You can't get it back. So I was like, how do I get back here? I got lost there for a second.
Yeah,
Uh, it happens. You trying to, fix stuff. I guess it's just leave it the freak alone. But it's just weird that it just went out like that. Just weird. Just weird. Just weird. But anyway, so yeah, so what your last thing you were saying that you think it'll be a little closer than 7?
yeah, man. I think the Raiders are gonna give him a game. I don't think since he's like superior to the Raiders outside of quarterback, and having Jamar Chase can be a game changer for sure. But without T Higgins out there, you get a chance to try and do your best to load up on Jamar. He's still gonna get his, but make it difficult. And this is a game I think is going to be way closer than people may anticipate going in. Um, do I think since he gets the win, yeah, the desperation kind of kicks in and ultimately prevails for them, especially considering that they're on a short week and going into Baltimore Thursday. So for reasons on top of reasons, man, you got to have this one. Um, just in case, there's a good chance you drop that Thursday game in Baltimore. At least you got this one on the board. So they'll be playing catch up for the rest of the year. So this is not the type of game that you want to lose. So for those measures, I would ultimately give them the win here. I just think it's the way they get it. It's gonna be a lot more interesting than people may assume going in. I think Vegas will play hard. They'll play for Pierce and they'll play hard and make sense he earned it.
Okay. Not mad at that assessment at all. Um, not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying stuff. Yeah. So we both in agreement. We think that uh, Bengals will win that game. You think maybe closer than 7? I don't know. I think it might be a little better than 7, but the games have funny bounces and everything. All right, so this is an interdivisional game. The next game we're going to be talking about is the Commanders versus the New York Giants. They're going to MetLife Stadium to watch the Commanders fresh off of that thrilling Hail Mary victory that they pulled out of the scrap heap to win against the Bears. Uh, that was an interesting. You still there?
I'm here.
Okay. That was a game, man. That really is an interesting game. It's also kind of a game that can give your team momentum, give you a little extra boost, a little adrenaline shot, if you will. To throw a hail mary. And I think that hail mary was aided by one of the Bears players kind of being kind of lackadaisical and whatever. Because they tell you in all those ball games, man, if you dare on the Hail Mary breakup assignment. What's your assignment? What's your assignment, TK? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you got to bat that ball down, man.
Knock the ball down. I know a lot of times you want to try to kill it, and that's how it gets knocked up in the air. And next thing you know, Noah Brown is 3 yards behind y'all sitting there watching, because that was very smart design. Usually, I've always thought, gee, why don't they have somebody in front of the pile and somebody behind the pile? That way, if the ball get tipped, you can scoop it up and run it in. Or if you're the back of the end zone, get scooped up, you can just kind of, you know, and they kind of did that. That's, you know, they
Yeah,
did.
man. It's a fortunate play, man. It's a fortunate play, but at the end of the day, it's just defense knows this assignment. They dropped the ball, so Washington gets to be on the right end of it, but defense just got to bat that down and get out of there. End of the day.
Yeah, 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 you're correct. But on to this game. Commanders, they got all the momentum. They got all the chutzpah. They got all of the, they are the feel good story of the NFL. Because they were one of the, not too good of teams last year in the NFL. They made a lot of changes, changed coaches, changed GMs, got a quarterback, brought in a lot of free agents, they had a lot of salary cap money, had some draft picks. They shook that thing up, and they are winning. They are winning, and that's a confidence that they've got, man. That's when a team's confident, man, they sometimes the confidence will override they because I know we've talked in times past, about their defense not being great, but sometimes, man, confidence, you so confident, man, it'll over for a period, over modulate your talent because you're just confident. That's a confident team, man. That's a very confident team. And then they're playing the Giants, who they just can't get right, man. They just can't. It's just they try hard and they put forth good efforts. They played well against the Steelers last Sunday night. They were right there, and they just couldn't win it. And a lot of their games are like that. They're like right there, but you can't quite get to the thing. It's like you can see it, but you can't get to it. And that's just kind of how they are. And so you playing to the Commanders. They're coming up there with all the confidence in the world. I got Washington, man. I just don't know how anybody could pick the Giants.
I mean, some people gonna pick the Giants, not me, but you know, I think the Giants gave them a good fight in Washington. I think they're gonna give them another good fight in New York. Two teams that know each other, division
True.
matchup, and
What did I just say on the last? I said when you play in the interdivision, sometimes the games don't kind of go kind of. I didn't follow my own theory there, but go ahead.
yeah, no, I think this will be much closer than another type of game. It'll be a lot closer than some people may assume. I think the Giants have a have a formula and just don't have the means to execute it. You know what I mean? It's like end of the day, I think Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones
Already.
already. And I just think
He's better than him. Yep.
Washington has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, but leave a lot to be desired on the defensive end of the ball. They recently lost Jonathan Allen for the year, one of their
Yeah.
cornerstones on the front four. So that opens up for their rookie to play. But I just think the Giants' formula again, man, they have the formula, they just don't have the means to execute it. But in saying that, I think because they have the formula, they'll be able to get Malik Neighbors some favorable matchups down the field, run the ball a little bit with Tracy Jr. And they're definitely gonna make this interesting. I mean, some
Yep.
people
Now,
gonna some
now that
people
you
gonna make
mentioned that Tracy kid is pretty good, man.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's some bright spots for them in the future, but in the present, I mean, you still got Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence alongside that front four, who both can really break a game open and put a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So I just think, all in all, I'll take Washington, but it's a close game, and I don't think Washington will run and hide from them, so to speak. I think the Giants managed to keep this one a little closer, like closer to the first matchup. Although I do think Washington, you know, gets into the end zone a couple times. This time they did not do that
Kicked a
the
bunch of
last
field
time.
goals. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember that. Washington's only favored by 4, so I mean it's not
that's
like
something more like
they're
something.
thinking like you're thinking. It's going to be a you know tight game, and I think they just got a few more skill position players than the Giants do. They're actually better at quarterback. He's very dynamic at quarterback. So yeah, we got the Commanders winning a nice close game, 4 to 7 points. I think should be what that remedy for that right there. All right, moving on. Injuries in that game to report. I didn't even think about looking at the injury report on that. Um, well, injuries, anything of note? Um, Brian Robinson Jr. is questionable. They do got Austin Eckler, so they can, do some things running it and receiving it. Uh, no, nobody. And I know you was mentioning, yeah, Andrew Thomas on the IR. That's huge. That kills their offensive line. You were mentioning Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence, man, on a team that probably ain't going nowhere. Dexter Lawrence is having a season out his freaking mind. I think he leads the NFL in sacks. I think I read that somewhere, and I was like, no, that can't be right. That's a freaking nose tackle. He can't be leading the league in sacks. That can't be right. Can
I'm
you
check. Definitely check to see if that's true. Well, he's got
I
nine of them, so he got 9 sacks through what 7 games. So if he isn't leading, he's for sure having an amazing game from the interior season. Excuse me, from the interior to have 9 sacks. Halfway through the season. That's crazy.
you know a nose tackle ain't supposed to have 9 sacks, right? That's
Yeah.
that ain't supposed to happen, man. I've always thought Dexter Lawrence was one of the most talented dudes and strongest, biggest, dudes in the middle of the line. And I'm like, man, come on, man, you ain't winning nothing there, man. Come on, slide up, down in Texas, man. We can use you down there on our defensive line. We can use you, man. Dexter Lawrence is a dude, man. That's a dude. That's a dude. If you play the Giants, you better figure out a way to block that dude, or it's gonna be tough for you to run or throw the football. That's for sure. But he won't be enough, as we've said, because other than him and Brian Burns, and I don't know if Thibodeau is gonna be playing today or not, tomorrow or not. That's one of their strengths of their D line. Unfortunately, a lot of their strengths ain't.
Trayvon Thibodeau's out for the year, man. He's been gone a little minute. He's done. Yeah.
Oh well, sucks for them. That's the NFL though. All right, we're moving on from there. We both got Washington. Next game, this is a game of some interest to you. The New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. I know you said, "Go Pats, let's go Drake May, let's win this game." So the Titans can slip down to 1-7 because you got your eyes set on either Shadua Sanders or Travis Hunter or McMillan or any of those guys. Or I know you got your eyes set on that dude, on those dudes. So I don't know, man. This is gonna be don't know how this will go. But I would like to say that the Titans have probably more talent than them, but they've traded away some of their talent. We do know D Hop's gone to the Kansas City Chiefs,
Mhm.
uh, and how much longer for some of the other guys. And we know that they cut Jamal Adams, and that's kind of as the trade deadline looms. I think it's Tuesday. We
Yeah.
probably should see more guys from the Titans getting released and cut loose and whatever, and guys can go, to teams that are contending. I hate to see that because I kind of not secretly, but I kind of root for the Titans as the closest team geographically to me. So I kind of keep an eye on them, and it's not good to see them. And I think this season got kicked off by them pulling defeat out of victory in the very first game. and I think it set the tone for the rest of the season. Because that game they had won. It was already in the W column, but somehow they wanted to stack it back in the L column, and they lost that game. And it's sort of been, been trying to play catch up ever since. What I think is weird though is I think I don't go into this things that the football gods thing kind of thing. I don't get into all that stuff, but I think it's interesting that in that particular game that the Bears basically took a game that they had lost and they happened to win it. And then last week they really had a game they should have won that they lost. So sometimes that thing got a way of balancing itself out. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes that thing got a way of balancing themselves out, because everybody that knows football they had no business beating the Titans in game one, you know. And then this win, last week they had no business winning that one because, whatever. We talking about the Titans and the Patriots. I don't think the Titans really are trying. I'm gonna go Patriot just for laughs and giggles. The Patriots gonna go down there and win. They're gonna win. Drake May gonna win his first start. Is this his first start? Did he win against the Jets? Did he win that game? Or was that Jacoby Brissett?
Well, it counts as a Drake May win because he did start the game and they
I
did
heard.
win. Yeah, well, it counts. It counts in the win column for him. He started the game. Um, yeah,
Drake
I'm going to
did the
Patriots,
winning
but
drive, didn't he?
yeah, I'm going Patriots, man. I root for the long term success of the Titans, and sometimes what comes with that is having a grin and bear, a rough season. This is kind of where we at with the Titans. So in the rooting interest of their long term projections, probably better to I ain't gonna say lose on purpose, but you know, if you're gonna have a bad season, it's always kind of better to have the worst season you can have. So you bounce back harder the next year with more talent and better projection. So um do I think there's a chance that Titans just go ahead and win this game? Absolutely. But in the interest of, you know, the agenda, so to speak, I'll go with the Patriots, man. Titans got a little fire sale going on, but they also got a lot of injuries for a team that started off the year with a lot of promise in terms of in the building. What they probably expected from their season hasn't gone that way at all. It's actually gone in reverse. So now you look up and key acquisitions are hurt now. D Hop's a chief, good for him. But L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie,
Yeah.
both corners out. Um, Traylon Burks hasn't been able to consistently put together success. To be frank, somehow they're having trouble getting Calvin Ridley the ball. Don't understand that. He's a talented dude. Should be able to give him the ball at least. You know, it's not a lot going right for the Titans. But again, to reiterate, if it's gonna go bad. Just go ahead and go bad, and get ready
Yeah.
to bounce back the next year. So uh, I'll root against them, but it's for good reason. And yeah, brighter days, man, brighter days on the horizon. Hopefully, a couple of
Yeah.
dudes in Colorado I got my eyes on. To the
Of
what you
course. Of course. You got a couple of dudes from Colorado you got your eye on. I'm sure you.
yeah. I will be interested on the opposite end of the spectrum. I haven't got a chance to check Drake May out yet. I haven't actually watched a game, the Patriots this season. So it'd be cool to, see what the Patriots got in Drake May. Still there?